Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum, dear students, staff, parents, family, and community members. Hope you are all safe and healthy. I know that this is a very important session and this is a very formative broadcast that we need to answer all your questions. But before we go into the safety guidelines and the practices that are done during the WIDA testing, let's go and welcome first Dr. Adnan Abed, our school principal, and we have Ms. Safa Al-Hushaimi, our tutorial ESL and Title III coordinator at Star George. So as we said before we go into the details of the safety guidelines and the practices that we have in our building, let's go and have a quick highlight on WIDA information. What is WIDA? What does it stand for? And why do students take WIDA? So WIDA stands for the World Class Instructional Design and Assessment. It is a state-mandated test that is done on annual basis. Every year, students have to do this test. Why does my child take the WIDA test? It's very important because upon enrollment, parents have to fill a home language survey with the enrollment packet. And within that survey, it indicates that if there is another language spoken at home other than English, if one of the questions is marked as yes, there is a language spoken at home other than English, then the student will be screened on 4 domains in the English language proficiency, which is the speaking, listening, reading, and writing. If the student scores a 5 on each of those domains, then they are not eligible to go into the English Language Learner Program or the LEP program. If the student if the student does not meet the criteria of those the 4 domains, then yes, they have to be enrolled into the EL program, and parents will receive at the beginning of the school academic year a letter that indicates what are the services provided for those students. So parents at this time, when they receive the letter, they may choose to opt their students out of the EL services of the year. Opting out the student does not mean that they are exited from the WIDA. No, they have to still take the WIDA on annual basis. But the point is, WIDA is very important, and we do encourage all the students to take it seriously, because to exit from this program, students have to score a 4.0 in the writing domain and a composite score of 4.8 and above to be exited. If those criteria are not met, then students have to still do the WIDA on annual basis. So more details about the WIDA will be also shared with the teacher classroom, with their students in their Google Classroom, Class Dojo, and Remind. So moving forward with the logistics and the protocol of doing the WIDA at school, Dr. Abed will walk us through the process of the safety guidelines that we need to observe during that time in the building. Dr. Abed?
Yes, thank you, Jumana. Good afternoon, our parents. I hope you are doing well, you and your kids safe and also healthy. So we follow what basically and reinforce what we call the state guidelines, and we also follow our STAR International Academy health and safety protocol and safety. We have a safety plan since the beginning of the year, and it is ready and we are implementing it 100%. So during the testing day, and we did that also in October with our high school. So basically we start with the screening the student and the staff by testing their temperature, and then they go into their classroom. When they move to their classroom, there is a fewer number. It's not more than 10 students, and in fact, because we have a longer time for testing, basically you can say the average daily, you can say kids in high school is like basically the whole of them like 40. If you talk about elementary, we are around maybe like 125. If you talk about middle school, we have 68. Divided to almost 10 to 12 classroom, you will see the number is really very low in a classroom. Also, another thing, we are considering what we call the social distance. We reinforce it. We also, between desk, there is a 6 feet distance. In addition to desk for a student, we have a plastic shield on the desk so the kids cannot basically, affecting or impacting any other. In fact, also all staffs and student has to come with a mask. And in fact, even our staff, they have what we call a plastic shield over the mask. Another thing we are considering, basically implementing the social distancing. If a kids want to drink water or something, in fact, if they have, we brought them bottle of water so they don't need to go outside. In addition, we sanitize the classroom every 4 hours. So when the kids leave by 10:30, they will have carpet clean, wipes, all these kind of floors, sanitizing, and also using a lot of sanitizers and wipes. Kids they are not going to share any test material. Kids are in their Chromebooks. Chromebooks need to be cleaned coming from home that they already check it. Their headphone also, and if in case they did not, we will give them like sanitizers where they will wipe it and they clear their hands. So in addition, our classroom are having a system. We install what we call ventilation system in our classroom. So the basically, and that's working, and that will make all the air is very clear. And I think the more than I am sure we are here at Star International Academy, whether Haas or George, we are having a very clean hallways, bathrooms, name it. In addition, again, as I said, the number is very limited. Those are the safety protocol that we will follow, and we would like to assure you we enforce all these rules that we talk about. And if you have a question at the end about those, we can also elaborate more. Yeah.
Let's mention something else, Dr. Abed, before we move to Ms. Al-Hushaimi. We would like also to inform the parents that if they choose not to have their children come to the day of the test, we can still provide accommodation or make up days just to make them feel better and flexible coming to the school and more safe. So since the state has extended the WIDA time frame until April 9, then we still have ample time for all students to be tested and at their convenience. Okay, so we're not limited only to a very short period of time. If a student cannot make it to school on the day of the test, they still have time to schedule for makeup and to get more accommodations on those days as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Hushaimi.
Thank you, Ms. Hamadia. Thank you, Dr. Abed. So the protocols for both Haas and George are similar, and especially for our first and second grade students, we do have shields in every classrooms. Like Dr. Abed has mentioned, we do have wipes and sanitizers in the hallways as well as the classrooms, and students will also be provided with their own water bottles to prevent going in the hallway and filling it up. The only thing that differs a little bit is for our kindergarten students. Our kindergarten students' materials are laminated. They are wrapped in plastic wrap. So then after the teacher is done testing the student, she will be able to wipe the materials and sanitize the room before the next student comes. And we'll kind of go in depth about the kindergarten assessment in few. And then for the first and the second grade students, they are entering through the building from different exits. So we do have certain areas throughout the building for the students to enter from. So if your child, for example, is in 1A, please do talk to the teacher in 1A classroom to know what location in the building they'll be entering from. So we do have specific doors for students to enter in the building, and everything else, all the protocol is similar to Haas.
Okay, let me add something else as well. We would encourage all students when they report to the building to get their own Chromebooks with the headsets. This will enable us to maintain a more hygiene environment and safety for both students, parents, and ourselves as well. So please, students, get your Chromebook and the headsets when you report to the building for testing.
Can I add also, if you did not check a Chromebook or a headphone, we have one for you, so you don't need, it's clean and it will give it to you when you enter the building.
So we open the room for questions. If you have any questions, we would like to answer and to make it clear for you. So go ahead and post your questions. I would encourage that you take the WIDA test. As I mentioned before, it's a state mandated test. It's not our option to drop it or opt it out from the school requirements. So we have to do it. But as I mentioned earlier, you have ample time to accommodate and schedule to come to the building if you don't feel safe coming with your students. The test will start on February 2 and will end around April 9. So we have enough time for all the students to test and provide accommodations as needed.
I would like to talk about, we would encourage you to commit to the schedule that we send you because that will help us, because the number is really very low, below the 10. But the accommodation for people who have like medical reason or like still something at home, that's we will extend. But because we have other tests coming after the MyStep, then we have BSAT 8 and 9. We have a lot of testing until mid of April. So please commit to the schedule that we send. If you don't know, ask the teacher. But if you have a special reason, then we encourage to reschedule. See,
Sukaina, yes,
we are
the
showing
test is
you. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yes, Sukaina, the test is for all kindergarten up to grade 12 students.
Yes, it is. Can I also like to mention that we are, students third and up, they are starting in February 2nd. However, for kindergarten through second grade students, they are starting February 1st. So if your child is in first grade, they are testing Monday and Tuesday. If your child is in second grade, they are testing Wednesday and Thursday. But if your child is in kindergarten, they do test Monday through Wednesday. But please do follow up with the teacher to know if to know the exact time that they will be testing. And then for first and second grade, we do have an AM testing session as well as a PM testing session. So please also follow up with your child's homeroom teacher to know what group they'll be coming in to test.
Yes, Rania, yes, your son can bring his own Chromebook to school with the headset if he also get the headset from school.
I would like to add to this picture you are seeing. This is really real. Those are not real picture in star, and you see the distance, the sign, all these temperature screening. You saw also the desk shield for the student and like how much. See, that's the temperature screening where the kids come in. They have to we have to test their temperature to make sure they are not sick. In addition to the inside the classroom, you see the student desk shield, so he is not going to be impacted. If, in addition, he should be in his mask. Yeah.
Yes, as the letter sent by Dr. Bazi through Remind and the homeroom teachers through Dojo, the times for the testing, each test for grades 3 to 12 at HAS, they will start from 8 sharp and they will end up until 10:30. So you have 2 hours and a half for testing, because on each day you will be testing 2 domains per the scheduled shirt. So from 8 till 3:30, till 10:30, sorry.
And for students in K through second grade, like I mentioned, it is a little bit different. We do have an AM test session, which is also from 8 to 10:30. And then we also have a PM test session, which is from 12 to 3 p.m. And that's only for second and first grade. But if they're in kindergarten, their hours are different because the kindergarten assessment is a little bit different.
So kids required to be in their uniform. I would say not necessarily. Let it be a free dress, but very conservative and decent. how many days coming in. So each student will be coming 2 days, 2 consecutive days to school. Let's say if you are a third grader, you will come on February 2 to do 2 test domains and on Wednesday to do the other 2. So each student has to come 2 days to school and from 8 till 10:30.
I also like to add in that for kindergarten students, it is different. So in kindergarten, I'm just going to elaborate briefly about it. So the kindergarten assessment is done one-on-one, where it is just the teacher and your child, and the test is all paper-based. So there is the teacher would have to read off a script, and there will be materials provided, and all the materials, they are laminated, they are wrapped in plastic bag, and they will be sanitized before and after the test. So the kindergarten students, the good thing about it is that they're able to finish in 45 minutes or less. It just depends on your child's proficiency in English.
I think we send you the schedule, and also your teacher also supposed to communicate that. So if you are talking about third grade, for example, it's February 2nd, February 3rd, and we have all of that. So mail reach to your teacher. We send that in a letter to all the school. But if your kids are testing, basically teacher are communicating the names of the student and the time and the date and even which door they go through. That's supposed to be. If that's not happening, we can reach to us, we can tell you.
The question is yours, Ms. Al-Hushaimi. First grade starts at 11:55. Can you?
Sorry, I was on mute. So we do require parents to bring in their child a few minutes before the testing, just so we can get their temperature checked, and and so they can actually enter the building and start the testing. So it's recommended to stay in the parking lot, but that is 3 hours. If you know that you will be back before 3 o'clock, that's fine for you to leave. But some students, depending on the student, if some students might finish the test way earlier before than 3 o'clock. And if you do have an emergency or you do have to go somewhere, the teacher will be contacting you if your child finishes the test early. So for those students that do finish the testing early, you will be contacted. So you can come in to pick up your child.
Ms. Al-Hushaimi, can the parent be with the kindergarten child?
No, unfortunately, you cannot. We know it is their first time being in the classroom, but thankfully the teacher has been meeting with your child live since the beginning of the school year, so they should have like a sense of being secure around the teacher, and the teacher is going to make sure that your child feels welcomed and safe. So you don't need to worry about that. But because of the state requirements, we apologize. We cannot have you inside the building.
Ms. Rania, my son has his own Chromebook and headsets. Should he bring them or he will be using yours? No, he should bring his own set, the Chromebook and the headset. Children can't wait to go back to school, or at least my son. Online classes are okay, but face-to-face classes are much better. And the child, we're looking forward to see them all in the hallway, in the gym, in the cafeteria. We miss them all. So let's cross our fingers. We will be back to school soon. How do we schedule the test? Is there a questionnaire to complete? No. You just follow with your teacher, your classroom teacher, or your subject teacher about all the test details.
I think she meant to reschedule it if she doesn't want to come by.
Yeah, of course. We said at the beginning, definitely just call the school, reach out to us, and we will reschedule as needed.
Yeah,
Can we opt out our children? Unfortunately not. This is a state mandated test. It's not a school test. So we are all obliged to do the test. Until the student scores a 4.0 in his writing domain and a composite score of 4.8 and above, then yes, students will be exited. Other than that, they have to continue doing the test on yearly basis. I have a question out of this live video, so could I ask it? It depends on the type of the question. I would appreciate if you can call the school and we would be more than happy, or you email it, we would be more than happy to reply. How early can my child arrive? Like 10 to 15 minutes earlier. So this will give us ample time to take the temperature and guide the students to their room number. What happens if you don't take the WIDA? We just mentioned that we need to take the WIDA because it's a state-mandated test. What we can provide parents and students is accommodation, and we can make up the test anytime February until April 9, but we cannot decline that test. It is a state-mandated test. What about the 9th grade? All grades, kindergarten up to grade 12, has to take WIDA test. What happens if we choose for our kids to do it online? Is it possible? We can't make it remotely. It has to be in person at school. It depends on which grade is your son. If he is like a 3rd grader, I believe they need to take time because especially we're focusing on reading and writing. They need to take the full time scheduled. It's no longer than 1 hour. I would say we can give you a call once they're done because each student has to do 2 domains every day. So let's say they have to take the listening, 45 minutes, then 5 minutes break, 45 minutes for reading, then it would be a total of like 2 hours. So I would say you can leave and we can give you a call once they're done.
Can I add on this? Normally when a kid's finished, the 2 part of the test, normally the teacher called the main office to call the parents so they can come pick their kids. So if your kids finish because his English is good, then that's what will happen. The teacher will inform us in the office and the office will give you a call to come within 5-10 minutes.
Is there the repay to get the exit score if not achieved first? As we don't get the scores until June 30th. So if the students do the test in February, and we can get the results and the scores back in June 30, end of June. We don't know the scores until June 30th. It starts at 8 o'clock sharp and ends at 10:30. But make sure that you are like 10-15 minutes earlier. I wish, but there is a schedule that we need to follow. I'm sorry about that. If the child needs more than 2 hours and a half, what will happen in this case? We can still wait and provide him or her enough time until they're comfortable finishing the test. Dr. Abed, when will we go back? You mean to go back to a normal school setting?
If we are going like in person, there is a plan. Some schools maybe in March, some schools are maybe in April. We're still looking for the vaccine. I think the teacher will start vaccinating soon. Hopefully that will make it easier, but you know, we have to follow the news.
So what is WIDA and why do we have to do it? WIDA stands for World-Class Instructional Design and Assessment. We have to take this test because, as I said at the beginning, upon enrollment, there is a home language survey document that the parents have to fill it. If it shows that there is another language spoken at home other than English, then yes, we have to do the WIDA test.
Can I also piggyback right on what Ms. Jumana said? So WIDA is very helpful, especially for teachers, because the nice thing about it is that it's structured into 4 domains, and these 4 domains kind of help teachers and as well as administrators kind of know where your child's proficiency is in English. So it does help teachers kind of plan their lesson plans according to what your child is able to understand and comprehend in the classrooms. So it's very, very helpful. And if your child does take the WIDA, please bring them in because it will help us in every way.
I will add to it also, it helps us to assess our basically ESL program. Is it working? Is not working? What we need to add? So these are very important, especially in a community where is a bigger number of ESL population. That helps us to put the right program for our kids. It's a monitoring program, and it also helps our score status, accountability status. Like 3 years ago, they never count WIDA in what we call the growth program, accountability, but they started to adding point for us for that. That's really, so that's why I'm encouraging you, please bring them. It's here safe. It will help us all. It helps our school too at the same time too. Yeah.
There was a question about having the test done remotely. No, the test has to be done in person at school. It's unlike NWEA. It has to be done in person and at school. What's the nature of the WIDA exam? Is there an yes, there are so many links that we provided in the letter sent to parents, and the teachers also have reviewed with the students in the classroom different links that help them to review and have practice tests prior to their WIDA testing next week. Anyways, with the PowerPoint or the WIDA document shared by Mr. Sharifuddin and Dr. Abed, there are sample links that you need to follow to log in and do the practice test. Those are very, very beneficial.
Can you share the document we have? It's at the bottom of it, the Safa, I think it's the bottom of it. Yeah.
Yes. How I know if my son has WIDA test, can you please call the school so we can provide you with the information that is needed for your son? Please call the school.
At the end, at the last part of it, there is a website. I think it's called WIDA.
With the blue one.
It's this one here. Search for in Google WIDA.AMS, and then you click that portal. Go down a little bit, Safa. Can you go down a little bit?
Doha, April 9 is our last day. So preferably before April 9, we need to finish all student testing.
Yeah, if you go to the website, WIDA, there is some practice examples, and teacher also have some. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dr. Abed. It wouldn't let me scroll all the way down. That is why.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
We need to abide and respect the schedule. So there is like a set time by 8 till 10:30.
And we start, all the state started even this week, but we started a little bit earlier because there are other reasons that the state are having my step for elementary, 3rd through 8th. Then we go next after that for 8th grade and 9th, BSAT 8 and 9. And then also we have another NWA. So that's why there is so many tests in schools. I hope that they can waive some of them, but still until now they didn't.
How many kids will be in class while testing? Maximum of 14 students. We will not reach 14, definitely. Max of between 10 to 14 max. As I said earlier, Ms. Haider, you need to please email us or call the school so we can help you if your kids need to do it or not.
And the teachers should have already kind of reached out to the parents to, let them know of the scheduled time that their child will be testing at. So if you haven't received a call, you are more than welcome to reach out to the school just to double check and make sure.
Even if you speak, Noor, even if you speak another language at home other than English, it's either your parents did not marked a yes on that question, or if you have done the WIDA before and you've been exited, that's why you're not doing it. Am I clear? Fatima, I would say we can reschedule, we can provide accommodations. And for further discussion, I would love to call you and talk about those details. It's for both existing and new enrolled. It depends on students who are newly enrolled in the school and they have done the screener and they did not meet the criteria, so yes, they have to do the WIDA. And for existing students who did not exit from previous WIDA testing, then yes, they have to do it. When do we get our scores? We can get them by end of June. The school will receive the scores from the state end of June. It's not everyone. As we said earlier, it depends on the home language survey and if students have exited or not. What do we do if I have classes in the same time? Your teachers have been informed that there is state going on, and you will be marked as present, testing in school, and then you will continue your regular day with the teachers with other subjects. Doha, we will talk about the dates later. If you have any issues, I would really appreciate if you can call the school and you talk about those details. Rehana. Okay, Rehana, I would appreciate if you call the school and you ask for Mrs. Jumana Hamadi. My name is Jumana Hamadi, and I would be more than happy to help you. So please call again. So, Dr. Abed.
I can say based on the state, it's not mandatory, but it's an optional, but it's recommended. It will help you. I will take it if they have it tomorrow. I will take it.
If the students did not meet the criteria, do they have to redo it? Yes, but please work hard. Give yourself enough time to write, read, listen, and speak during the test. Please try your best so you can be exited and you will not do the WIDA anymore. I believe we are all set with the questions. Anything that you need to add, Ms. Al-Hushaimi, Dr. Abed?
I would like to say thank you. Honestly, great questions. We are all in this together, but we assure you that we are really in, it's a very safe, clean place, and we will make sure that your kids also at our building safe. We will do our best together. Please bring your kids, and we thank you for your attendance. And we are at school. If you have still special questions from 7:30 until 4 every day, ask for me, Dr. Abed, or Jumana, okay?
One more question, Dr. Abed, I have from Sukaina. My son was telling me that he never took the WIDA test before. We speak 2 languages. Sukaina, it's probably that you did not mark the questions on the home language survey as yes. If both of them have been marked as no, then definitely he will not do the WIDA, even if you speak like 2 or 3 other languages other than English. Okay, this is all based on the home language survey. Again, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and we really appreciate if you have any further questions, please do call the school or email us at any time, and we would be more than happy to help you and support as needed.